because, and I'm going to say this, Mr. Kenneth, and I'm going to say this to my cousin, Miss McGaw-Lumsden. I'm going to say this to her, that we need to make sure that what we do in Cayman, that the people get the right truth. Yeah. Right truth. Is there a wrong truth? Yes. And we are stifling the political process in our country. This election taught me something, that we know very little about the political process. It taught me a lot. And that's why I'm not said much, because I'm trying to internalize it. You know, we think we know because we can get onto the U.S. and we watch the U.S. newspaper. We are the Westminster model. We are not the U.S. model.
True.
And I leave this to the two of you, not just to tell your people, your constituents about how they're getting on, but about the politics of change.
True.
We need to understand it. This election taught me something that we don't know. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Seymour.
Thank you very much. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Morning, good morning.
Morning, Brother Kenneth.
Hey, big brother, how you doing? How's the Brock?
Good. Morning, Miss London, Miss. Mom, you have come a long way. I know it from Mary Street.
A very long way. Good morning, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm really proud of you.
I appreciate that.
Really proud of you. Now, don't be led astray up there, please.
I won't.
Thank you. Now, Minister Bryan, the ganja man come in. Mr. Bryan, why don't you move a vote to deal with the decriminalization of the marijuana? That would put a little thing, because I am sure a lot of your Georgetown Central crews voted for it, because the last election, the ganja got the election before this one, the ganja got 107 votes. That was me.
Yes.
This time, the ganja got 10,385 votes. No, it's not binding on the government. Yeah. I know that, but tell me something now. Mm-hmm. You could move a motion, right?
Yeah.
And come to the government and say, listen, it's 11 of you guys there. If you divide 10,385 by 11, that calculates to 944.09. And not one member in there got 944 votes. Out of the 11 that is running the country now, all together, they didn't get 10,385 votes. So I think that deserves looking under and try to stop kicking it down the road, because who do support it? This election, I can guarantee you, will not be re-elected. Have a nice day, you folks. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Connor, due to the fact that my colleague has an important matter, I would want to allow her to respond and give in closing comments. I'll respond to Mr. McKeever after she leaves.
Certainly. Yep.
Of course, and your points are duly noted, so I'm sure that's a discussion point that we can have with the member for Georgetown West. But again, thank you so much for having me, OC. It's actually been a pleasure. I do have to rush off to the Seniors Day, which I'm so eager looking forward to. And again, good morning to the members or the voters of Georgetown West. Good morning to Cayman. Thank you so much for having the confidence in me to be obviously an MP for Georgetown West and to be the Honorable Deputy Speaker of the Cayman Islands. I am more than humbled with this opportunity. Like my cousin Miss Lucille has mentioned and the last caller, I think we must always remain grounded. But I do want to piggyback off of her comment that not only this was an eye-opener regarding the truth in the Cayman Islands and the political arena, it's also taught us not to try to be divisive in this country. It's too small of a country for us to go down that avenue. And we saw that during the election. While we have different views and we support different individuals, we can still be respectful of one one another. And that's the key thing that I want to take away from this election. Stop being divisive. Support each other, support whoever you want to, but be respectful of one another. One thing my mother has always taught me, it's so much more to have manners, respect to individuals than anything else that you carry in yourself. And so I want to remind the individuals with regards to the voters to try to remember that. And that's something that I take with me always, to be respectful, be mannerable. And obviously, at the end of the day, we all have different opinions. We all have different concerns. And the way we address them doesn't mean at the end of the day, we're not Caymanians. We are Caymanians, and that divisive behavior has to stop. Yep. And again, thank you so much for your time. And I wished the Georgetown Central good luck with that question.
Thank you very much. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we still have one caller on WhatsApp, and we have a caller on the regular line as well. Just hang in there. We will take your calls as soon as we return. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Thank you.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Incorporate that. Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Ms. Susan, which line are we going to first? WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello.
Good morning. WhatsApp caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm hearing him. I was here. It keeps popping in and out.
Okay, well, concerning what I was speaking about last, about the prison, with the prison inspector coming to the Cayman Islands in 2007 and saying that it was actually a disgrace for the kind of prison the Cayman Islands has, for the finances that we have. And I said before, and I'll say it again, Northwood Prison is very dangerous to be housing prisoners. I mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. If a fire breaks out in Northwood Prison, a security guard has to open each cell with a key. And in 2025, we are supposed to have a system in place that you press a button and all prisoners are released at the same time in case of an emergency. The steel rods in Northwood Prison are rotting. If we were to have a serious earthquake, there's a possibility those buildings could fall on those prisoners and they could die. So this is something I hope that will be brought to the floor of the House, and all 19 members should say yay to having Northwood repaired, and as soon as possible by building new buildings. And when it comes to Caribbean Haven, right now, if two brothers were to go to Caribbean Haven and ask to be entered into the program, only one would be allowed, not two, because of some problems that they're having there of having family members in the program at the same time, which means that we need another Caribbean Haven in the Cayman Islands, and immediately, because there are a lot of people coming to Caribbean Haven at this time wanting to get into the program, and there's no rooms for them to enter into the program. There are people who want to enter into the program and not allowed to because another family member is already in the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Mr. Bryan, we're going to grab one more caller and then give you an opportunity to respond to all of them. Next caller, and the landline caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning.
And good morning to your panel.
Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Connor, at some point in time, did we have a patriation fee for whoever came into the island to work? Did we have that in the making some years ago?
Not only did we have it, it is still in place. I believe that companies or individuals applying for work permits, there's a fixed repatriation fee for everyone. Before, in the past, it was based on the jurisdiction that the person came from and would have to return to. So, for instance, in Europe, the repatriation fee was like $1,500 as opposed to the Caribbean, which was less, or to the United States or Canada. It varied depending on the jurisdiction.
Yeah. Well, I heard on the news a couple of days ago where this gentleman became unemployed, and he been here for a year, practically living here and there in his car, and evidently was picked up. He was on the news now. This I know, here say something. It was one of the local news. It was on here.
Yeah, it was a situation where the person was taken to court for overstaying, and deportation order, I guess, was entered after. But in the meantime, they're serving their sentence in prison.
Yeah, yes, sir. And what happened to his boss that had him hired? That if he let him go, his time was up, and wouldn't he have the right to report him to immigration?
Good question. That's a good point.
Just let him linger here and stay on the island, know it, living in his car and so forth. And then when he went to court, I would use the term, put a lenient with him and gave him 1 year, and it's left. And court says left to the immigration to deport him, if and when it's ready. But Mr. Connor, this is where we are becoming shortage in our doings in this island. Everybody's a human being. Please don't misunderstand me this morning. But Cayman has been an open door for the whole world. And people come here and things happen to them, and they still have the privilege to stay here to an extent or being caught. We need to nip that in the bud. And when Rankin called you this morning in regards to some of the things that he was saying, believe me, we need to go to some of those channels that he was talking about this morning, because that man is a human being. He came from far, far, far away, and to come here and don't have any more work. And how did he maintain his car? And was his car license for the whole year? Was he had a driver's license still? How it took them a whole year to find this man on this island. I'm just leaning out with you this morning. But, we got to nip some more things in the bud right now before we try to open this island to any more people who's trying to come to Cayman, because it's a clean place and it's a safe place. And we continue to keep bringing people and not monitoring them to a degree. We got to be worse in America and everywhere else in the rest of the world. I just want to leave that with you guys this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just want to say before I pass the mic over to Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Bryan, that YouTube should be functioning now, as well as Facebook feed should be functioning now as well. Mr. Bryan.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. I'm going to try my best to address three outstanding questions. One from Mr. Elvis McKeever in the BRAC, the prison infrastructure improvement question, and the oversteer. I'll just go with in the order they were received. Yes, we can file the relevant questions in respect to the outcome of the referendum. The marijuana decriminalization was the most supported question of the three. But again, because the referendum was not binding, it is up to this administration to suggest what they're going to do moving forward. And I'm aware that the government is planning to work on their SPS, a strategic policy statement, and I'm assuming that within that strategic policy statement, it would be, I'm only saying what I would do if I was the premier and I was a part of the government, to address something as significant as to all three. Because they're all non-binding, and I think all of them needs clarity as to what the government position is now that the public has spoken. We're making a lot of assumptions. The government, we all assume, is not going to move forward at all in any cruise infrastructure capacity because of the large number of persons who voted no. So are we to assume in the same principle, in the same vein, that they are going to do something about those ones who said yes within the national lottery or the decriminalization of marijuana? I don't want to be assuming anything, and I don't think the public should assume anything either. Again, where I think the government should be giving clarity to their position in respect to these three areas. A referendum is a significant thing. A very large amount of people participated in that. So the voting bloc of this country has sent their signal, sent an answer to the government of the day. I think it would be good for them to respond and answer back. So I'll leave that there. If they do not respond, I will be filing questions as to all three questions. And particularly, it will summarize basically saying, what is the government's position moving forward based on the outcome of the relevant three referendum questions, and I'll put that to the premier. So that office can expect that. In respect to the prison infrastructure improvements that the caller called in on, I do agree with him. Also at Caribbean Haven, we do have persons who are exposed to difficulties, and the only way for me to categorize it is in difficulties, whether it's in prison or a reform facility like Caribbean Haven. Sadly, our society don't always put a priority on costings, or because obviously we only have a certain amount of money available to deal with a number of things. And if you put it on a priority list and you were to ask our society, which one would you prefer to deal with, a road, a school, or a prison, I'm almost certain 8 times out of 10 the prison will come last on the list. And that's why we're in this situation, and as well as with reform facilities. I think we should change our approach to that, because if we were to actually put more priority around these types of things, maybe we would have less recidivism. Recidivism. I always get tight-tongued with that word.
Yeah, tongue twister.
And also persons going back on substance abuse. I'm rather than actually having the caller said about having 2 Caribbean Havens, I think they should just try to reform the policy. But I don't know the reason why 2 family members can't be at a facility, but you can't just build another facility just because the policy says 2 family members can't be at a place. Maybe there could be amendments to security measures. They can't be in the same proximity or what have you. I don't know why that is the way it is. I can't even recall whether the Caribbean Haven is a government institution or a private institution that is funded by government. I don't recall, so I don't want to speak too much to it, but we do need to improve these areas of support for persons on substance abuse in our country. In respect to the oversteer, I think the caller has a valid point in questioning these things. And I think a lot of the immigration concerns that we are having is just so much to do with enforcement. Just enforce what we have now. But unfortunately, what I think there is a serious fear that's driving our cultural responses to issues. Fear of being taken to court, fear of being challenged, fear of God forbid, if you do it wrong, that you're going to be sued, all kinds. It's like we are afraid to do anything in this country. And that fear can only be empowered, or that fear can only be stopped by the government sending a clear signal to your enforcement arm within the agencies responsible for protecting our borders, protecting our people, protecting our rights and way of life and culture, to say, go out, do your job, and we will defend you. Lock them up if you have to. Arrest the owner of the company that gave the work permit if you have to. Make an example. Give them the power and support that they need, that you will back them up. Civil servants are not going to take the risk because they have to interpret the law themselves, and they're not going to put themselves and their families at risk. But the government needs to send a clear picture. The minister responsible needs to send a clear picture. Empower them to take the responsibility and job seriously and do what they feel that they have to do, and let them know you'll back them up. If you got to go to court, let's go to court. But it's time to send a message. Some of the reforms that we're talking about are things that will need to be done. But there are a lot of the cultural behavior around immigration, around labor, around misuse of the immigration practices is because people are no longer fearful. And they're not fearful of repercussions from the agencies, because the agency says, I don't know if anybody's going to protect me. To every immigration officer and border control officer, I sympathize with you. Fight. If the government won't fight for you, I will fight for you. But you need to protect your people. I think we got to go to a break.
Yes. How many callers do we have left on hold, Ms. Susan? We have one WhatsApp caller. I think when we return, we'll limit it to that because you would want
I'll
to have
take
some
the calls.
closing
I just need about
comments.
3 minutes for the closing calls and then the closing remarks.
Okay, we'll see how we can manage that. And folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britke. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
For For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show this morning. Still in the studio with us, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Member of Parliament, Mr. Kenneth Bryan. We have two callers. We have a WhatsApp caller. We have a landline caller. WhatsApp caller was first. We will try to get to the landline caller as well. Let's see what happens. WhatsApp caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning, Ms. O.C.
Morning, good morning.
Good morning, Kenneth Bryan.
Good morning, sir.
Deputy Leader of Opposition. Kenneth, like last I talked to you, when you had Mr. Tatum on and Mr. Seymour on, I was telling you, you need to play a role as a mirror line, as opposition. And in this up, hold scrutiny, okay?
Yes.
Come to the hard topic now. Ms. O.C. and I talk fast, so air up down 2 minutes, right?
Yep, go ahead.
The hard topic. Right? David Baines, the former Commissioner of Police, Englishman, right? You know, they have the rational theory, right? And he was the first one as a career, right? Occupation of decolonize the herbs as an Englishman, right? So he came from a right-wing theory, a moral feeling, right? And however, the left-wing theory hijacks and adapted environment, okay? And our President Commissioner, local Commissioner, Mr. Walter, now, I read an article and I heard on the radio, Ray came on, talk about the herbs, that he need to be in the conversation. How much permissible in that, you know, and where can you smoke it from, which are prohibited areas. You see where I come from? In 2,050 pounds were last year illegal herbs, right? Equivalent to 1,604,000 CI Cayman dollars. Okay, so in politics, it's all about who you know and who can strike the best deal and who took the scale. And when it comes to prison now, prison probation is a money-making thing. So that's why people be afraid for the prison to be privatized. You understand? But when you're housing in the mix there, it's a money-making thing. Probation get paid, so they always need a cycle, a domino effect. Okay? And I finally say now, the DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency, when they make Colombia and Jamaica and spray down the herb plants, do these we monitor culture at times, and go respect the vital vote for the herbs. Gentlemen, have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller.
Last caller, you're going to have about 4 or 5 minutes. Good morning, welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning. How many minutes you said?
4 or 5.
Anyway, first of all, good morning. I think you were talking about people calling in and standing up for literally Cayman rights, it sounds like, in our honor and our culture and our home. Let me tell you something. That'd be fine. But a lot of the Caymanians, put this way, I'm on one of the marinas. And I'm a person who brings business to that marina for over 10, 15 years since I've been back home. All right? I'm along the West Bay Road there. All right? Now, there's a bars convenience store there. Some people work in the convenience store. These people have made so much problems for myself and many other boat captains in the area. Matter where the boat captains in. When I'm talking about people making trouble, I'm talking about your checkout girl, your cashier, or some Jamaican that they bring over that's obviously like some field worker or what have you. You know what I'm trying to use. All right? And there's damn good Jamaicans coming here, but this ain't one of them. All right? And then the captain is the one, the people who own the business like myself are bringing business in, but yet we can be assailed or disrespected by literally a cashier. That's it. Because with no other skills. I'm boat captain, dive instructor, all this jazz. All right? And then you complain as a married man because there's other married men coming in influencing these women to go on like this because they got a little straight hair and they got a little light skin and they think they're God's gift to the world or some crap. You know, personally, I don't like light-skinned women and straight hair women. But anyway, that's besides the conversation. That might sound strange to half these fucking people here.
Yeah, you're wearing off a little bit.
All right? When you do stand up for your rights, there'll be tons of Caymanians around you say this and say that, but none of them are there to back you and back their rights because they're there giving tips and whatever, trying to get googly-eyed, married men or not, with this trash that we import here, okay, and nothing is done about it. But the Caymanians end up being the damn victims in this. So I hear what Kenneth was saying, and I appreciate that. But what about all the rest of the cowards that don't even stand up when the one stands up? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, the Caymanians end up becoming the victim here.
Caller, thank you. Thank you very much for that. Minister Bryan, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think the last two calls were more opinion rather than questions. Yes. I thank the listening audience for participating in any kind of conversation. All conversations are are important to us analyzing our views, our thoughts, our communities, and we're all in this together. So everybody's voice is important. Mr. Connor, I just want to say thank you for allowing myself and the Honorable Deputy Speaker and member for Georgetown West the opportunity to come on and share a few points here. And just to quickly wrap up, we talked about our intent to have shadow ministers. Unfortunately, we can't have them outlined until the government finishes their appointments to the various areas within the civil service and who's going to be responsible for them. We also spoke about the fact that, we think it's important that the government give more details, particularly to two major decisions that has happened, that being the withdrawal of the National Conservation Council case or to concede to the case of a challenge brought by two former members of the National Conservation Council board. We think it's the impact of that is going to be significant on our governance, and there is an element there of monies to be paid, and what justification will they use the public's purse to pay these individuals back? I think they need to answer to that to the public. Also, we're reluctant to have a particular position on the rollover policy for non-Caymanian civil servants due to the fact that it's not that we're not in support of it, but we want to know the
more details
before we give our position, because each minor detail could have a different outcome and effect on Caymanian employment opportunity within the service and the greater Caymanian status request. So we are hoping that the government will have a sitting of the House before the summer break, which is now mandated within the standing orders of Parliament. So there won't be any Parliament sitting from the first week of July to the first week of September. So that means if they don't have a sitting between now and July, there will be none until sometime in September, and I think that's too long because there's enough things that needs to be said. I see that there hasn't been much opportunity for questions to the government. They've had press conferences, but no chance to ask the Premier a question. I think unfortunately it's being too controlled and managed, and I think that's why they're afraid to come on to Radio Cayman, and they only go on to platforms where they can control the narrative. They hasn't even had a press conference where the media that they're not connected to can ask questions. This is concerning. The culture is already starting to shape itself. I think they need to allow a little bit more information and questions about it, as well as in Parliament, where we, the official opposition, and the other members elected by the people, have the chance to ask those relevant questions. We still don't know when the next sitting of the House is. But, it's early days yet. I don't want to be too overly criticizing, but there are some significant things that we need more information on. As usual, remember, hurricane season starts this Sunday, June the 1st, till November the 1st or 31st. Please, I beg of you to, sit with your families, sit with your loved ones, and get yourself prepared. Documentations, your personal information, find out where your shelters are, make sure your house is protected. What is your game plan? Are you in a low-lying area? Are you concerned about flooding? Are you going to go to a shelter? Where's your loved ones? Where's your parents, your kids, if they don't live with you anymore? And what is your neighbor? We're all in this together. So start to get yourself minded around that. It is very, very hot, as most of you may be feeling. So we may have a very active season. Actually, the report for this season has been released. And I think it's
between 13 and 19 main storms with, I forget how many, 6 or 8, something like that.
Major ones, yeah. So that's significant. It only takes one storm, though, so let's prepare ourselves. Georgetown Central, I love you as always. Thank you for being there for me again, and I look forward to seeing you next week, Wednesday, right here on Radio Cayman. Thank you, Mr. Connor.
Okay, thank you very much as well. I want to thank all of those persons who participated, who called in, who sent WhatsApp messages. We apologize for the Facebook as well as the YouTube feed being down, really beyond our control, but we were happy to have it restored again as well. I want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want, or even those who crave. So have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, the people's radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Mr. Charles Glidden at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And the Cayman Islands National Museum. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, No Cayman, Cayman right. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.